sentences. Before going deep into the types, let me first give you a quick recap of the sentence. A sentence is a group of words that makes a complete sense on its own. Sentences can be silly, but still it makes sense. Let us see this example. The rainbow dog flew over the sun. Yes, it sounds silly, but the thought is complete in itself. A very important point to note, children, a sentence needs to have a verb, that is the doing word, and a sentence needs to have a subject about what or about whom we are speaking. Now let us see different sentence structure. To make your writing more interesting, you should try to vary your sentences in terms of length and structure. You can make some of your sentences long and others short. Let us now read the two paragraphs on the next page so that you can know the difference between these two. The first paragraph, I love living in the city. I have a wonderful view of the entire city. I have an apartment. I can see the Golden Gate Bridge. I can see many cargo ships pass under the bridge each day. I like the restaurants in San Francisco. I can find wonderful food from just about every country. I don't like the traffic in the city. Let us now see the second paragraph. I love living in the city of San Francisco. I have a wonderful view of the entire city from my apartment window. In addition, I can see the Golden Gate Bridge under which many cargo ships pass each day. I also like San Francisco because I can find wonderful restaurants with food from just about every country. However, I don't like the traffic in the city. Now, do you find any difference in these two paragraphs, students? It is clearly understood that in the second paragraph, we are using some more words to make it more beautiful. You will want to use a variety of sentence structures in your writing. Based on that, we have three types of sentences which we will study in this video. The simple sentence, the compound sentence, and the complex one. Let us now see what is a simple sentence. A simple sentence has one independent clause, that is one subject and a verb. You can find details of clauses in my previous videos. You can refer to that for more help. Now, independent clause means which stand on its own, which gives a complete meaning. So, a simple sentence has one independent clause which has one subject and a verb, and this verb has to be finite verb. You can find finite and non-finite verb video. You can, in my own channel, you can refer to that. I live in San Francisco. I is the subject here. Live is the finite verb. So we see I live in San Francisco is a one independent clause giving a complete meaning, and thus it is the simple sentence. A compound sentence contains two independent clauses that are joined together. She works in the city. This is independent because it is complete in itself. She lives in the suburbs. This is also independent clause, and these two independent clauses are joined together by the conjunction but. This is an example of compound sentence. Let us see now more about compound sentence. A compound sentence has an independent clause, and it is a clause that contains three things. An independent clause will have a subject, something or someone that the sentence is all about. It has an action word, that is the verb, something that is being done, and a complete thought. There are no questions as to meaning as the end of the sentence. Now, when I read an independent clause, after the reading of the clause, there won't be any question about the meaning of the sentence. That is, it is complete in itself. We can make a compound sentence by joining two logically related independent clauses by using either a semicolon or a coordinating conjunction or a transition. Now let us see when to use a semicolon. Independent clause. After that, a semicolon to be added, and again one independent clause. I love living in the city. There are so many things to do. I love living in the city is one independent clause. There are so many things to do is another independent clause. Both are joined together by using a semicolon, and it is an example of compound sentence. Now, when to use a coordinating conjunction? He couldn't watch the show, comma, so he decided to tape it. Here we see two independent clauses are joined together by a coordinating conjunction so. You can refer to my video of coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions for a better knowledge of the conjunctions. Next, we can find here a list of coordinating conjunctions are given. If the logical relationship is addition, we use the conjunction and. If it is a contrast, we use but or yet. If it is a choice, we use or nor. If it is a cause, we use for. Result is so. Now this is a trick, a shortcut to remember the 6 coordinating conjunctions in English language. That is the fanboys. F is for and A is for not, N is for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. When you have two independent clauses joined by one of these coordinators, that is a compound sentence. Usually a comma is required before the coordinating conjunctions. Now we should not use a comma every time we use the words and, or, but, nor, for, so, and yet. We should use a comma only when the coordinating conjunctions joins two independent clauses. Let us see this example. The necklace was beautiful but expensive. Now here we don't use a comma because expensive is only one word. It is not an independent clause. Had it been two independent clauses, then we would have added a comma before that, like the necklace was beautiful but it was expensive. In this case, we would have added one comma before but because two independent clauses are added. Now let us see what is a transition. I love San Francisco. However, I hate the traffic. So however is the transition, that is the change of state. I love San Francisco is the independent clause. I hate the traffic is another independent clause, and we are using the transition word however to separate these two, to join these two, and therefore it is a coordinating conjunction and a compound sentence. Compound sentences can make writing rich and colorful. It provides more details and make paragraphs more interesting and engaging. When forming compound sentences, it is important to understand the components of a compound sentence, that are the coordinating conjunctions, and to use the proper punctuation to join clauses. Let us now see the last type, the complex sentences. A complex sentence contains at least one independent clause and one dependent clause. You can find independent and dependent clause difference in my video on clauses. John cannot set up his typewriter because the wall has no outlet. Now, John cannot set up his typewriter is an independent clause. It stands on its own. The wall has no outlet. This is the dependent clause because it has to depend on the independent clause for its meaning, and because is the subordinating conjunction. Now, dependent clauses begin with subordinating conjunction. You can find in the table below few common subordinating conjunctions are mentioned. A complex sentence joins an independent clause with one or more dependent clauses by the use of these subordinating conjunctions: after, although, as, because, before, even though, if, since, unless, until, when, whenever, whereas, wherever, while, and though. A complex sentence contains at least one independent clause and one dependent clause. Very important. It has to have one independent clause and one dependent clause minimum. More than one dependent clauses can always also be there. She will go to school in the city is the independent clause until she finds a job. She finds a job is dependent, joined by the conjunction until. Now let us see whether to use comma or dot. We use a comma after a dependent clause if it begins the sentence. When I first moved to the city, I was afraid to drive the steep and narrow streets. Now we find here that the sentence begins with the subordinating conjunction when. So when the complex sentence begins with the subordinating conjunction, we have to separate that from the independent clause by a comma. Use a comma if the dependent clause is the first part of the sentence. But if the same sentence I write, I was afraid to drive the steep and narrow streets when I first moved to the city. In this case, comma is not required because the sentence does not begin with the dependent clause. Let us see now few conjunctions which are used in complex sentences. When we have addition, it is moreover, furthermore, in addition, besides. Contrast is however, in contrast, on the contrary, on the other hand. Result or effect is consequently, accordingly, thus, hence, therefore, as a result. Reinforcement or emphasis is indeed, in fact. Exemplification is for example, for instance, in particular. Time is meanwhile, subsequently, thereafter. Reinforcement or emphasis is indeed, in fact. And exemplification is for example, in instance, in particular, as I have already told you before. Now let us see the difference between compound and complex. Compound versus complex. Only independent clauses joined by one of the fanboys coordinators are compound sentences. When an independent clause and a dependent clause are joined, a complex sentence is formed which is different from a compound sentence. When I visit my mom, I eat cookies. This is not a compound sentence because when I visit my mother is not an independent clause and the coordinator, the fanboys coordinator is not used. When is the subordinating conjunction and therefore it becomes a complex sentence. Complex sentences are often more effective than compound sentences because a complex sentence indicates clearer and more specific relationships between the main parts of the sentence. The word before, for instance, tells the readers that one thing occurs before another. A word such as although conveys a more complex relationship than a word such as and conveys. Now there is a very important point to note. Should we start the sentence with and or because? In short, we can say it is a no. We should avoid beginning a sentence with and or but or the other coordinating conjunctions of the fanboys group. These words generally are used to join together parts of a sentence, not to begin a new sentence. However, such sentences can be used effectively because sentences beginning with these words stand out. Stand out means they are used to emphasize something. If you use sentences beginning with one of the coordinating conjunctions, that is fanboys, you should use these sentences sparingly and very carefully. Now, should you begin a sentence with because? There is nothing wrong with beginning a sentence with because, children. Perhaps some of you are told not to begin a sentence with because to avoid sentence fragments. Fragments means pieces. Something like because Mary and Samantha arrived at the bus station before noon is a sentence fragment. That is a part of the sentence, not deriving a complete meaning. It is preferably and perfectly acceptable to begin a sentence with because, as long as the sentence is complete, as in, because Mary and Samantha arrived at the bus station before noon, I did not see them at the station. So in this case, we see though the sentence begins with the conjunction because, it makes a complete sense. I did not see them at the station. So it is perfectly all right if you start a sentence with because. As I have told you before, you can watch the video on conjunctions and clauses in the link given below. It will be more effective if you watch this and then go on to simple, compound and complex sentences. Keep on subscribing my channel, like and share the same. You can give your feedback or your requests in the comment section. I will come up with a new video tomorrow. Until then, take care, God bless you and have a good day.